Hello guys and welcome back. Welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies. And in today's video, we have to talk about the Mandalorian. Specifically, why does Din Djarin keep his helmet on, but other Mandalorians that we see take their helmet off? So, this is kind of a question that I have had since the beginning of the show, because we've seen in Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Clone Wars, Mandalorians without their helmets on all the time. And why is it specifically that they keep their helmets on? Is it because they're just keeping their helmets on ever since the quote-unquote purge? And what was the purge about? Who is Bo-Katan? And all of these other questions that a lot of people have. And in today's video, I plan to answer all of that, because in this latest episode of The Mandalorian, they actually answered exactly why they have their helmets off, but why the Mandalorian keeps his on. However, if you don't know Star Wars lore, if you don't know about Star Wars, the Clone Wars, or Rebel series, then you might not get the full explanation. So that's what this video is going to give you. The full explanation of why Din Djarin keeps his helmet on. Why Mandalorians keep their helmet on when we know so many who don't. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. First off, we have to start with Mandalore in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So basically, Mandalorians is a race of warriors. We've seen many humans, but Mandalorians is not really a race. It's actually a creed. And as long as you give yourself to the ways of Mandalore, promise yourself to the ways of Mandalore, then you can call yourself a Mandalorian. Whether you're human, man, women, or alien. There have been many alien species who are in fact Mandalorian. It is not a race. It is not a people, a plant. It is indeed a lifestyle. The lifestyle of a Mandalorian. But here's the thing. Mandalorians have always been soldiers, have always been warriors, right? Indeed. Since ancient times on Mandalore, they've all been warriors. But Duchess Satine, Queen of Mandalore, who was actually had a tie-in with Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars, we learn that from her perspective, her people have suffered enough being warriors. She wants to be a peacekeeper. And so she decrees that the war is over. She decrees that she is going to be peaceful, that Mandalorians are going to be peaceful. And they want to stay neutral in the war against the Republic. That's why we don't see a lot of Mandalorians when it comes to the galactic war that happens during the Clone Wars. Because at the time, the Mandalorians, the greatest warrior species of them all, the greatest warrior race of them all, is trying to stay neutral. At the same time, on their moon is a couple of Mandalorians that actually like the old ways, who want to be warrior ways. They gather together and create what is known as Death Watch. Death Watch becomes a humongous problem in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. They actually like the old ways of Mandalore, the warrior way, the way where you don't take your helmet off. This is why we see such a difference in the Clone Wars versus now. People who were part of Death Watch never took their helmet off, or at least almost never took their helmet off. Now, of course, we do have a couple people actually, but we do have Bo-Katan and her leader Pre Vizsla actually take their helmets off, and that's just to show Duchess Satine who they are, to make a stand and say, I am Mandalore, you are not. And that's where the dark saber comes from, is because as Pre-Vizsla, he had an ancestor who made a dark saber who was actually a Jedi Mandalorian. The only Jedi Mandalorian that we know of, and definitely the first Jedi Mandalorian that we know of. The lightsaber was kept in the Jedi Temple, but the Mandalorians eventually went and stole it back. That is the story of the dark saber. The dark saber to them is a symbol of unification and leadership. Now, if you get into the whole rebel story with Sabine Wren, again, she was a member of Death Watch. Her family was a member of Death Watch, but she believes in peace and freedom, just like her aunts did. So she wants to be free, so she takes her helmet off. Same thing with Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan, again, only took the helmet off to show who she was, but after that, she never wanted to take her helmet off again because she believes in the old ways. But then Darth Maul comes in. Yes, Darth Maul. This is the story of how the Mandalorians actually came to be. The Mandalorians worked with Maul and thus created the Mandalorians. Eventually, the Mandalorians, Pre-Vizsla, had a duel with Darth Maul winning the title of Mandalore. Bo-Katan did not like an outsider winning this war, this planet, her home. She didn't like an outsider controlling her home. So she fought against it, and now she believes the ways of her sister. That as a young child, she never understood what her sister was talking about. She always believed in the older ways, but now she understands why a change needs to happen. Now, as for Din Djarin, our Mandalorian, right there, man, our Mandalorian, he was actually saved during the Clone Wars by Death Watch. And he was raised as a foundling, which is basically an orphan who is found by the Mandalorians. They take him in, they raise him to become Mandalorians, only if they cannot find their rightful owners, their rightful rightful parents, rightful keepers, stuff like that. And that actually leads me into a theory about what's going to happen with Baby Yoda, which we'll talk about in a different video. But when it comes to our young Din Djarin, he was grown up and taught by Death Watch, the way of the old. So that's why he keeps his helmet on, and why when he sees Bo-Katan in this latest episode of The Mandalorian, they take their helmets off, while he does not. Will he ever submit to the old ways? Will he ever submit to their ways? Will he ever forget the old ways and take his helmet off? We just don't know. I think maybe in the future that something like that might happen, but it is really interesting the way the story goes. Basically, to sum it all up, Din Djarin is part of Death Watch, and that's why he doesn't remove his helmet, because it's part of the old ways. And Bo-Katan is part of the new movement, who doesn't mind taking their helmet off because they do not submit to the old ways. That is the explanation in this video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know, what do you guys think of this explanation? Was it a good explanation? It's really interesting that we actually had all the information we needed from the Clone Wars, but many people didn't watch the Clone Wars, and that was a question from the Clone Wars, why Din Djarin would never remove his helmet. So I'm glad we have confirmation of why that is, and it makes so much sense to me. Let me know if it makes sense to you. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out.